that opening, as I said, open, is the opportunity to have the last chapter in our book on Unapologetic Manifestation. I said it right. The last week, and I got it right. Yay. Unapologetic Manifestation to me has been a real study, and I have loved it. It has visualizations, it has meditations in it, it has vision boards in it, it has questions, it is chock full. There's still a couple books. If you didn't get it, it's great study, and it's a great gift to someone who's on the spiritual path in a new way. Ken Daigle is the Unity minister in Unity of San Francisco. He started off with Eric Butterworth in New York City, and he was a professional dancer on Broadway, very famous dancer, went on to write and direct on Broadway, ended up a Unity minister, and he has many, many stories in there about how his journey and how he ended up there. He also was president of Unity Worldwide Ministries for a while, and continued his ministry. So, yay, Ken. Great job. I love your book. So when we think about manifesting, it's a little different than praying to something outside of ourselves. It's a little different even than intention setting. To me, it's building energy. And that's what I talked to you about earlier. Let's build some energy today, because the energy creates the possibility of the co-creation of that which you desire. Look at me. Whoa, I got it. So think of that again. So the energy creates the possibility. So if you're low energy, if you're la-di-da-di-da about what you want, that's what you get. Have you ever gotten la-di-da and not what you wanted? That had been me. Came in many forms, many jobs, many different situations. Wasn't clear. I wasn't clear, and I wasn't open. Because we're half shut down most of the time. We're half shut down. We're in our head. Yeah? Yes? Anybody else? We're critical. We're upset. We're all different kinds of feelings, perceptions, and we're not available to the energy that's the possibility of that which we desire. And what we desire is the highest good. Would you agree? Many of us go up for the so-so. I'll go for 50%. Anyone willing? Yeah. I remember when I was first dating as a teenager, I'd go out with anyone that asked me. It was just, I wasn't going for the person I really liked. So that feeling of, I'm not enough to desire and co-create with the universe. I don't know if anyone has ever felt that way. I'm not enough. I'm not spiritual enough. I'm not, whatever word we would put in there, to be a co-creator with the universe. Whoa, that sounds important. It is important, and everyone sitting here and everyone on the planet has the ability to create the energy that creates, what was that word? Possibility. Say it with me. Possibility. I have the energy to create the possibility to co-create that which I desire. It doesn't fall from the sky. It isn't really about money. And it's not about prestige. It's I and the universe, God, creator, whatever you want to call it, Buddha nature, Christ nature. We all are connected. And it's only in our head that we're not. So we have a responsibility. I was telling a few people, I'm going to talk the truth today. Are you willing? Maybe, maybe not. We have a responsibility. We're not just here to look good. We're not here just to have a job, fill in a place. We have a responsibility because we know that we can create the energy that creates the possibility of that which we desire. Sometimes we're taking a nap. We're taking a nap. We just, it's too much. It's just too much. So today we're taking ownership. Today we're taking ownership of what is mine and yours and ours to do. And everyone watching also. So when we are open and we're ready to manifest, create the energy, the possibility, co-creating with the universe, the next thing we have to do is surrender. Do you like that word? Surrender? You mean I did all this work, I made the energy, I created the possibility, I envisioned, I held, I had intention, and then I have to let it go? You must be kidding. Surrender is the key to most successful things that happen in the world. You lay it down. You just lay it down. What? How could I? Well, isn't that a dichotomy? We hold it, we envision it, we feel it, we believe in it. It's right here, I can almost touch it, and then I lay it down. Because often the universe has something even better in store. Has that happened to you? Oh, yeah. That would be sitting right there. The universe has something even better. But I first have to create the energy to the possibility of being a co-creator. And then I have to hold it in my heart. I have to visualize it. I have to almost be it. And then I surrender. Doesn't it seem the opposite? And that is the spiritual walk. Now, we've all held on to things before, haven't we? Did they always manifest the way you wanted? They didn't for me. But that which was greater did come to me. It did come to me. And after surrender, we have to accept and be willing to see what the universe is going to bring. And most likely, it's right next to us. It's just this tiny story. Everybody knows, I think, that I care how things look. And in my home, I care how things look. And I like to rearrange things. My mother was a decorator, or at least she called herself one. And she helped her friends decorate their homes and do all these things. So recently we moved into our house 5 years ago, and I loved it, and it was all neutrals and whatever, and I wanted some color. I just wanted color. So I talked to Paul, and I started pulling things out, and I was watching videos, and we were going to Home Goods and all these things, and I was going to change this, and guess what? Almost everything I needed was in my closet. The right pillows I already had. I had bought a little marble stand at Target, like when we first moved in there, and I didn't use it, and I could not find it. It was in the back of a closet with a box in front of it. It was exactly what I needed. And then I had a pillow from the house we had moved out of. Now, I kept this darkish green pillow, and every time I'd give things away, I'd pull it out and I'd put it back. The exact thing that goes with the pillows that I already had it. And the truth is, we already have what we're looking for. We already have what we're looking for. That's the truth. I'll say it quietly. Where do you have it? In your heart. Maybe it's also in your closet. I don't know. But you have it here, or you couldn't envision it. If it wasn't here, you couldn't envision it. Now, why do we dance around that? Why do we say, poor me? Why do we dance around that? One of my favorite statements most of my life has been, I can't. I can't. You can't expect me to do that. I can't. It's an underlying theme I grew up with, and I'm very good at it. I really am. I can't. I just can't. I can't give a talk. I can't be a minute. I can't. And I was actually the complete opposite of what I was trying to convince myself was true. You can. You are. You do. You're capable. The universe is trusting you with its energy, with its goodness, with everything you desire, even more than you can think. Now, I want you to begin to think about, what am I open to today? What am I open to today? You know, we can use small things. I was open to curly hair. Who knew? What are you open? I'm being silly, but what are you open to? Are you open to health? Are you open to financial freedom? Are you open to transportation? Are you open to new relationships? Are you open to friends? Or what are you open to? And what is this community open to? That's my question. Are we open to people filling the chairs? Are we open to 2 services? Are we open to a full parking lot? Are we open to that? Are we willing to build the energy of possibility of co-creating that with the Spirit? I am. But now there's a little resistance because we really like the way it used to be. Remember the used to phrase? We used to. We used to. You can't imagine how many times I heard that when I walked through this door, which is true of everywhere. We used to. That's great. And who are we today? And what is the possibility of co-creation at this moment? And are we willing to be open to it, to be co-creators and to think that way? I just have a couple tiny stories. They're, to me, examples. So when my daughter was little, my husband and I were starting, Larry Miller and I were starting the Unity of Beaverton. Very few people. We met in a bridge club. Now, sometimes the cleaner didn't come in and there were alcohol and the bridge card tables were still up and the charts of who was winning. It was quite a place, but we did it. Not a lot of income. My daughter that year, 9 years old, wanted a Cabbage Patch doll. Do you remember Cabbage Patch? I don't know if anyone remembers Cabbage Patch dolls. Now, I looked at that doll and went, huh? I wanted a Barbie when I was a girl. She wanted that Cabbage Patch doll. Now, she was going to get a limited amount of things for Christmas because that was kind of what I was thinking we had. And she wanted this certain Cabbage Patch doll. And that was the first one to go. Now, we saw an ad on TV for Toys R Us. And Toys R Us, this wasn't the Thanksgiving Day sale. It was a sale after that. And they were opening up at 7, and they had a list of all the things they were going to have. And it said Cabbage Patch dolls. She said, Mom, can we go? You must be kidding. We get these 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, I've never been a person who lines up to get a good sale. However, Stephanie Kay, I line up with her at Toys R Us. Almost 6:30 in the morning. There's already 50 people there. Doors won't open till 7, and there's a limited number of Cabbage Patch dolls because they are so everyone wants them. 7 o'clock, doors open. We run, but there are kids really running, almost, We get to the Cabbage Patch dolls. There's very few left. She had a certain one she wanted. She got one. The lady next to her, who had been standing next to us and talking, and Stephanie had been telling her, said, "Is this the one you wanted?" And it was her favorite one. Now, Stephanie had been holding that for weeks and weeks and weeks. And she got the doll she wanted. Now, that's such a simple example, and you've had that happen in your life. I know that. I know that. So how do we then expand on that? We go beyond Cabbage Patch dolls. We go beyond partners in life, and we realize we have a responsibility. This is my way of thinking. You don't have to agree with me. I feel we have a responsibility to unity. And we have a responsibility to share our message and not hide it. It heals people like you and me. It transforms people. But then we talk about, well, I'm not sure I want to do that. Maybe that I'm not sure. We didn't used to do it that way. We have to second guess Why would we not have the energy for the possibility of being co-creators with the universe and be willing to change what was into something new? Would I be willing? That is a question, isn't it? It's a heartfelt question, and only you can answer that. And all the people that are watching, and all the people who have been part of this ministry. So how do we partner together? Because we all think differently, and we all have our things we hold on to. And we stopped reading Daily Word. That was a big one. Deep breath. We have people coming that don't come back and say they're not looking for something churchy. They're not looking for this. They like the music, they like the message, and something that doesn't feel churchy. Okay. When I brought home the book, how do we change and thrive? The idea is we have to make extreme, that's the wrong word, bold changes. Autopsy of a deceased church. And 12 ways to keep yours alive. And one was to think boldly, to make drastic changes, to think outside of your building, not what's going on inside your building. So when we think like that, how do we see things differently? Now, co-creating means just that. That means that I'm willing to set aside maybe something that I think is the right one. We've done a lot of leadership training. The last one we did, we had 35 people here. We did some really good planning. We looked at how do we launch our ship. And we realized that most of the changes we've made are superficial. You realize that. So we have to move beyond superficial changes to thrive. So how do we launch the ship? Do we even want to launch a ship? Are we even on a ship? We're on the ship. We're at the dock. And you know that saying, boats look beautiful at the dock, but that's not what they're made for. If we're on a boat, we're meant to sail. We're not meant to be rooted at a platform. So I'm just asking you to start thinking about this. What would it mean, first of all, as a person individually, for you to think of yourself launching your boat? What's your dream? What is your ideal? What is the next thing you want to draw to yourself? And then think about the ministry, community. Now, it's much more challenging to move a large boat than a canoe. So if we're individually the canoes and we're on a steamship, it's a little harder. But it's possible, and it's so precious. So when we realize that in our hearts, we have all that we need. Say that to yourself. In my heart, I have all I need. We're going to start our meditation now, and I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and begin to open. Move beyond the ta-das, the things you usually say to yourself. Just close your eyes while we hear the music, and then we'll go into our meditation.
Feel the blessing as it pours through you. Feel the blessing, nothing more to do. Feel the blessing at the core of you. Nothing that you need, nothing that you need, nothing that you need to do. Nothing that you need, nothing that you need, nothing that you need to do. Feel the blessing. Feel the blessing. Feel the blessing. Oh, feel the blessing.
Become aware of that breath. Slow it down. Slow it down. Slow it down. Focus on the heart. So much more than the physical heart. The heart of your being. I want you to put your feet on the floor if they're not already. Say to yourself, I am open. And listen for the answer. I am open to. I am open for. I am open. Letting go of the past. Letting go of that which was. Co-creator of a new possibility. open. Say those words to yourself. To be a co-creator of the possibility of that which I desire. Spirit leads me. Divine energy opens doors. That which seems impossible is not only possible, it is inevitable. It is inevitable when I align with the greater good. For me and for all. Deep breath.
Feel the blessing as it pours through us. Feel the blessing. All we need is trust. Feel the blessing at the core of us. Nothing that we need, nothing that we need, nothing that we need to do. Nothing that we need, nothing that we need, nothing that we need to do. Feel the blessing. Feel the Feel the blessing. Feel the blessing.
We truly are grateful. Open doors, open hearts, open minds, open, open, open. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Oh, good work. Good work. Good work.